Hello and welcome to Searching for Service, brought to you by Rotary District 5950 and 5960. I'm Kelly Kirk.
I'm Chad Larson.
And I'm Joe Kirk.
And on today's episode, we're going to have Leif Hagen on and learn a little bit more about him. We're really excited about it.
Yeah, he's got a lot of different titles that we'll get into. And we actually explore most of them in the episode, which is really exciting too.
Yeah, it was very well-rounded. I mean, we learned a lot about multiple topics. He was a great guest.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? We weren't afraid to get a little controversial and at least like challenge the thinking of our of what Rotary is. And I really appreciated that. I appreciated what he said and how well he articulated it too, because it made a lot of sense.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
Well, so stay tuned. You'll enjoy this conversation with Leif.
We'll be back. Hello and welcome back to Searching for Service, brought to you by Rotary District 5950 and
the Russell Hampton Company. We want to thank them for sending over some of the swag. They're the #1 printer for Rotary in the country. They can also help you out with any of your printing needs for your business. So thank you to Russell Hampton.
Or your big, not Stanley, but Stanley mugs.
Yeah.
This is a big hot topic, by the way, the Stanleys, but we're not going to go into that. We're going to go into who our guest is today. We have Leif Hagen, who has been selected as the District Governor Nominee Designee.
Yes.
It's a mouthful. And he is also a part of the Minnesota Pride Rotary Club, but he holds many other titles. And what we're going to do is get to know our guest, Leif, and find out some more of those titles and how he got involved in Rotary. So let's start here. How long have you been a member of Rotary?
17 years.
Dang.
17.
All of a sudden, wow, it's fast. Yep.
But the Minnesota Pride Rotary is
We're in our third year.
Yeah.
But I was in the Egan Noon Rotary Club. This is my 17th year in that club, and twice club president.
Yeah.
So
Just couldn't take enough licking the first time. Had to
Well,
go back.
I mean, the guy who said yes, the other one said, I can't do it. I'm too busy.
yeah. Well, and so what I feel strongly about is in serving a part of Rotary for that amount of years, having held the title of president, not once, but twice, being a part of, having perspectives from other Rotary clubs too. I think it's well-deserved to be selected as the District Governor Nominee Designee.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And for those that don't know, there's kind of this legacy chain within the district governor, as well as most of the leadership group within Rotary. It's kind of what brings continuity, but yet some new vigor every single year. And so this would be your third in line, right? Or fourth in line, actually. Third?
Yeah. Well, my
district?
year is 2026, 2027. So we have a district governor,
Okay.
a district governor elect,
Yep.
a district governor nominee, and I'm the guy
Okay.
behind that
Yep.
designee. So
Okay.
yeah, it's a 4-person leadership ladder for
Yep.
the district governor.
So new person that's learning the ropes, probably
Yep.
drinking from
Yeah.
the fire hose.
It is. It's like info
Yeah.
overload, like info dump.
Well, yeah. And the beautiful thing here is that you've got plenty of years to prepare. At the
does
same
that process
time.
start? Is it learning to start?
Yeah,
and then you
great
start
question.
creating a plan, or
I think
how
it's
does
just
that
like
map out?
how all the pieces work, and then the different committees of the Rotary District. And I mean, I think it's just a lot. So I try to be a little bit quiet on all these Zoom meetings. And a couple of times they like take a vote, and I'm like, yes. And like, oh wait, Leif, you can't vote yet. Oh, okay, not till July 1st. So I'm just kind of a new guy, not official yet to vote, but just show up and try and look good.
Well, and then you get kind of the base of the mountain stuff, right? Like, as they say, everything flows downhill, and they're like, here, Leif, here's all the stuff that we don't quite have time to take on, but
Could you help?
could you just take care of all of
Yeah,
this?
sure.
Absolutely.
Sure, I'd be happy to.
we got to have a pretty good a decent understanding of what's all involved. Having been twice president,
Mhm.
co-founder of the Pride Club. So you've worked with these people in these levels. So
Yeah,
you probably
and-
have a pretty good understanding.
Yeah, and I also got to do the group study exchange program with Rotary. So I was a team leader to Bangalore, India for 4 weeks. So that was a program they don't have anymore. But so a lot of different things in Rotary. Into the Rotary International
That's pretty neat.
Conventions. So yeah, a lot of cool
Were you
stuff.
at the last one?
No, I wasn't. The last one I went to was in Hamburg, Germany, kind of before COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been to the one in Bangkok, and the one in my first one was Birmingham, England. And I got there and they kept talking about Rotary. I'm like, Rotary? What's Rotary? Oh, you mean, Rotary. Oh, okay.
I kind of like Rotary.
Rotary. Yeah, the Rotary meaning is right over here.
Rotary.
Right over here.
Rotary.
Rotarians.
This is an odd question.
That's really cute.
In places that speak different languages, is it still Rotary?
Yeah, I mean,
Or Rotary.
Or Rotary, yeah. I'm not sure
know.
how they say it in like Aussie world.
Yeah.
But,
okay.
yeah.
I figured it was,
But it is funny. Like, that's actually a really good question, because is it
Yeah.
kind of like a name that is really similar through languages? Like, you know, you'll hear somebody speaking Spanish and then it'll be like atom.
Yeah.
And it just goes across all of them. But which role has been your favorite so far?
Hard to say. I mean, I've really enjoyed being club president for the Egan Noon Rotary twice, just because those are my peeps, my friends, my buddies, and it was fun to work with them and real comfortable. Then being charter president of the Minnesota Pride Rotary Club had its own challenges, but its own rewards, trying to build up a new club from zero. And now we're at like 41 members, and
Congratulations.
most of them are new to Rotary, like 35, 36 are brand new to Rotary. So they're drinking the Rotary Kool-Aid, trying to figure it all out.
Well, let's talk about that for a
Yeah.
second. How did you build the organization? Because I mean, one of the cores of this show is membership, and just, you know, this show in of itself is we're just trying to reach people in a different way, and obviously the Pride Club is really reaching people in a new way. I mean, you just said most of the membership are new to Rotary
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah.
So maybe talk a little bit about how you develop the membership for that club.
Yep. I think a lot of like social media stuff has been really big.
Mm-hmm.
We would go to the annual Pride thing in the summer and have a table there. The Quorum had a coming out event, and so we had a table there. So it's just kind of getting out there. A lot of social media, Instagram, Facebook, and we just try and be a really welcoming, friendly club. So people come in and they're like, wow, this wasn't what I was expecting.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've had a lot of people that just come to the meetings and they are like, how do I join this place?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so some people have just joined right on the spot, but a lot of really great stuff initially on social media and our website.
Well, I know we talked,
Okay.
we talked a little bit off air about Alexa. She was on previously, and we highlighted one of her service opportunities and
Membership.
our membership opportunities. I'm sorry. And the core of it was really creating this welcoming environment, and then educating people on, well, it's not just a meeting and you just go and blah, 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 blah. It's there's a meaning behind it. And especially every club is different.
Yep.
And every club has their things that they can really resonate with people on.
Our Minnesota Pride Rotary Club is an LGBTQ plus allies, friends, supporters club. The first in Minnesota, the third in the U.S. But I think our club has focused on helping LGBTQ homeless youth. That's been our mission. And I think a lot of our members have been like excited about that special thing. I mean, every club has their own kind of maybe special focus or whatever, but that's been our thing. And I think a lot of people who are new to our club, they maybe haven't felt like welcome or invited or feel safe being in a normal standard Rotary club. So, but our club is kind of little more huggy feely, and we meet in the evenings. We don't have a breakfast or lunch. It's 5:30 in the evening at Wise Acres Eatery in South Minneapolis.
Oh, nice.
5:30 to 6 is appetizers and a cash bar. And
Look at that.
Yeah, well, it's just really a fun, different vibe, and it's an LGBTQ owned restaurant. And
Yummy bacon.
yeah, they have really good appetizers, and they are always different.
Hold on a second. I got to know when is it that you guys meet? I might just
It's always the second.
ask my husband to
and the
take care of the
fourth,
kids while I come.
Second and the fourth Wednesdays of every month, except for
Okay.
November and December with holidays.
Ooh.
But everybody's welcome. We're a fun group, good appetizers. Did I say cash bar? Oh, yeah, I did mention cash bar. And instead of doing like a thought for the day or an invocation or whatever, like some other more traditional clubs do, we do a toast to Rotary, which is kind of giving a special meaning or something, message. But it's a little more lighthearted, different way of doing things. So we've kind of had to change things up a little bit so it's not the standard Rotary Club.
Did you start with doing it in the evenings, or
It's always been in the evenings.
Has
Yep. On Wednesdays. We changed locations though. Initially, we met at the Hilton Hotel off France Avenue in Bloomington, and it was too expensive, too corporate feeling, and it didn't have any windows. And so we went to the Wise Acre for our first social event, and I'm like, wow, this is it. This is where we should be. And so, yeah.
How many people can that place hold?
Well, our biggest attendance was when we had former weatherman, or maybe still called the weatherman, Sven Sundsgaard come, and we had probably 35 people in that space. So it was like shoulder to shoulder. It was like a full room.
Yeah.
So 35.
You had a celebrity.
Yeah, it was like pretty full space. And I think our meetings tend to be like 20-ish, 21, 22-ish.
Makes sense for
It's
the
pretty
size of
comfortable.
the,
Yeah.
Makes total sense.
You guys are growing. What's the plan?
Yeah.
Because I
Well,
remember it's one of the bigger growth.
Yeah, we've had a lot of growth. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to leave the Wise Acre Eatery because it's a great location. Parking is pretty easy. Joy, who is over there every time, takes great care of us. They have great food, and yeah, so I don't know. We might have to move if we get too big, but
it's a good problem to have.
It would be a good problem to have.
Yeah.
We're not quite there yet, but maybe if we have, a bunch of celebrities keep coming, like the Kirks, if the Kirks come, we might have 50 people there. I don't know where they're
Flattered.
yeah, standing room only. And now the
Flattery
Kirks.
will get you everywhere.
And Chat too. I don't mean to leave out Chat. He's a celebrity too here. AM 950.
See, I get to benefit so much from Kelly. It's not even funny because really it's Kelly, and then okay, bring Joe.
Oh my God, not even true.
Kelly, and Joe.
If you want to check out the club, obviously they can go to the meetings, but how else can they find?
The best way is to go to our Facebook page. We're also on Instagram. Those are probably the best places to find out the upcoming speakers, the upcoming meetings. But again, the meetings are always the second and the fourth Wednesday of every month. But that's probably the best way is on our social media.
Can we wrap up one more thing on the Pride group? Because you mentioned that you guys focus a lot on the homelessness. Talk a little bit more about that, because that kind of intrigued me when you.
So we have some members who work for some NGOs in the Twin Cities who really help and work with homeless LGBTQ youth. And so those NGO members have really been the way we've been able to have like service projects, food or winter clothing drives or different things like that. And they know the issue, they know the resources, they know the way to do it. And so they've been really good club members for helping with that mission of helping homeless LGBTQ youth in the Twin Cities.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Are you going to be at Pride this year?
Of course. Yeah, we'll be there.
Maybe we'll have to do
with
a
our
show.
banner and brochures, and
we have the station always has a booth, and we'll have I think a double booth this year, so maybe we can do a show with you that day.
Yeah. Perfect.
I love it.
Holy moly.
Holy moly.
Planning ahead. That's plenty of time for us to plan
I know
ahead.
we'll have some live shows on Saturday, so put the same stuff on Sunday.
Yeah. Cool.
There we go.
Do it up.
Yeah, it's a fun event.
It is written.
Want to go back a little bit to being the nominee. How did you get to? Do you put your name in the hat for that, or the nominee designated?
Designee.
Right.
Get yourself in the line.
Yeah,
of
how did you get into
district
that
governor?
line, and how does that work?
Actually, I applied for district governor once before, and they asked somebody else to be the district governor. So this was my second try at being district governor, and it's a formal application with kind of your Rotary resume. And but I think a lot of the people on the interview, well, I know the people on the interview committee, most of them except for a couple of people, and they had my application beforehand, so they knew who I was. And I think a couple of people probably maybe put in a little good word for me, I don't know. But anyway, after the interview, they called me up and said, Leif, you're the guy. So
You generally have had to been I assume, a club president.
You have to be a club president. And I think, if you've been a foundation giver and you've been active in your club and done things in the district, I mean, those are all things that they're kind of looking for. And someone who knows how to talk and isn't an introvert. They got to be outgoing and work the room. And
because you got to go to every club.
Yeah.
Try to
all
get
the
to
clubs
every club.
and the district events and also service minded and all that. Yeah.
A lot of Zooms too, I presume.
Yeah, you got to be good at Zooms. I'm like, wow, my calendar is really full of Zoom. But
what was it like before COVID? With all the, when you were president, you had to be at those. Were they always in person, and did everybody drive to them, or were they using them?
Actually, I was finishing my second go around as club president for the Eagan Rotary Club during COVID, so I was leading the Eagan Rotary lunch meetings from my office on Zoom. I had a Rotary bell. I'd ring the bell, all on Zoom, and then after we finished that July 1st, then we started the new year. I mean, I finished June 30th with the Eagan Rotary Club and July 1st with Minnesota Pride Rotary Club. We started, but we weren't on Zoom. We were far enough past all that we were meeting in person, and we didn't do Zoom meetings. We were live in person at the Bloomington Hilton.
Yeah, it's an interesting conundrum for clubs for sure, with the Zoom, the hybrid, the in person, and I mean,
we did do hybrid in the first weeks of our first meetings of our Minnesota Pride Rotary Club. And that was a little bit of
everybody's attention.
Yeah, it was a little juggle, and we just kind of got to the point where not enough people are really Zooming for us to keep doing this. And I don't know. And our thing is, when you come to our club meeting, we're all kind of there. You get the vibe, the feel, and
there's definitely something to be said about the in person.
For sure.
Yeah, and we just described exactly what's happening in every corporation's C-suite meetings. They're like, how do we do kind of in the office and kind of not? Like, it's just hard. Like, because it is a different vibe. I mean, I give it up for the clubs that can do the full Zoom. Like, the Global Travelers, I believe they're full Zoom.
They have people from around the world.
That makes sense.
They have to. They have members from around the world.
But,
Yeah, I think it makes sense for some, but in person, I mean, for me, I enjoy seeing everyone.
I agree.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I agree.
I don't think I would have lasted if it was strictly Zoom. That was the only.
It's different. It's totally different.
Yeah.
It's funny, like, thinking back to COVID and going, man, I would do like 15 Zoom calls a day.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I did that. It was exciting at first, wasn't it? Like, when we first started to do it, it was like,
oh, it's just different. Yeah.
Then you'd have the Zoom happy hours, right, Kelly?
Oh, yeah. One right after another. You're like, what am I doing right now? This is crazy. I'm drinking wine and Zooming.
Well, and you didn't have to worry about driving. You can have one more.
Yeah,
right?
So true.
Oh, wow.
That's where people got into trouble, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't have to drive, whatever.
What has been your favorite service project you've either been a part of? Maybe it was a trip that you worked on, but do you have one or a couple that really
I think
had impact on you?
Kind of towards that question, my biggest thing for me that really left a lasting impression and lifelong friends, and really a big aha, now I know how big Rotary is when I was a Rotary group study exchange team leader to Bangalore, India for 4 weeks. And we went to India, and those Rotarians in India are passionate Rotarians. And when you think about the needs and the projects to do in India, it was like, wow. And I still have friends from Bangalore, India, and around there, and I would see them at the international conventions. And even the past Rotary district governor came and visited us here in Eagan once. So, I mean, it makes the world small. And just seeing those projects, seeing the work of the Rotarians in India in particular was pretty impressive.
I bet it was pretty interesting seeing, what we go to Haiti or somewhere else to experience the true nature of it. They can go 30 miles and it's
or less.
Yeah. And it's right there. There's got to be something to that, to your point of the immediacy and the urgency, and like right at home.
Quicker impact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Makes you grateful for what you got.
We are blessed. We are truly lucky. Our first world problems are tiny.
I always say that. I'm like, It's a first world problem, seriously.
Yeah. So I guess probably India is how I would answer that question about service project.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Was there any project that you guys did while you were there that you participated in, or were you more kind of interacting with?
Well, we visited. We stayed with 7 Rotary Club families. Each participant stayed with a different family. We went to a lot of Rotary Club meetings there. We went to their district conference there, so that was really cool. And we saw a lot of their service projects, from well digging to clean water projects to a lot of different things in India. But it just really opens your mind to how big Rotary is and the connectedness and all the work there is to do with service and Rotary.
Yeah, we talk a lot about how it's really cool how Rotary plays so well internationally, and it's because we have a core set of values. We all seem to kind of align on, service is a good thing.
Yep.
4-way test, all the
4-way test.
Everybody around the world knows that.
Yep.
And the secret Rotary handshake, we all know that.
Right,
Kelly? Wait, what? I thought you
You
knew
share.
that. Don't they do that in your Rotary Club?
No.
We haven't been there long enough.
Yeah.
You were there a while before you learned the secret handshake.
I'm like, I've only been to the cigar bar, but
I don't have that in Hagen. Okay.
What are you hoping? So you've got another, let's see, what are we, 5-6 months until you're into the next role, correct?
Yeah. So July 1st is the beginning of the new
July
Rotary
1, yep.
year.
Yep.
So then I'll become district governor nominee.
Okay.
So then I'm just kind of 2 years away from being district governor. Just a little funny tidbit from this morning. I was like on my phone and I got a message from Vishnu in Kathmandu, Nepal. One of my friends on Facebook. He's a Rotarian there, and he is the group selfie king of Nepal. But he was just chosen as the district governor nominee designee. So we'll be in the same class as district governors. So it's been fun to have a little back and forth. I sent him a big congratulations. And
Cool.
it's like
Wonderful.
this last week, Sharon Bloodworth came back from Orlando from where all the district governors have their training, 500 district governors from around the world. And she was talking about that. And I was just imagining, meeting my classmates at that thing. It'll be pretty big, pretty powerful.
Yeah, because how many is it?
5
or 5? Is it 500?
530 or something?
Yeah,
it's over
it's a
500
lot.
different governors from the districts around the world.
Wow.
Big.
That's so cool. So as you're coming into this next year, what's the progression, right? Like, so, you're in your role now,
Which is learning.
which is taking it. It sounds like that you're observing a lot, kind of taking in that. How great is that, by the way, that you don't actually have to go and
Do it right away. It's
world's
not
problems
like
immediately.
Gosh, it's a big job, lots of responsibility. It's kind of like the training we get in the clubs, from being like club secretary to club president-elect, being club president to being past club president. It's a leadership ladder. Rotary is great at kind of leadership training. I guess it's just kind of getting more and more involved. I'm on the foundation committee, and just a bunch of things. So, and a lot of Zooms. So it's just, learning a lot of stuff, how it works.
Have you thought about what you want as your initiatives for when you're district governor?
I haven't gotten that far yet. I think that's a little.
Give
further
him a break, Joe. Jeez.
Jeez, is this guy a type A personality? No, I haven't yet, but I'm thinking that's part of the ongoing as we build and get closer to it. And already Sharon Bloodworth is talking about what her goals are and things for her year, which starts July 1st. And of course, she has an advantage because she has a British accent, so it gives her an unfair advantage.
It is.
It's always brilliant.
And does she say Rotary?
You got the coat, though.
Yeah, I guess I'm
Dave, you got the coat.
She may be, yeah.
Did you see that tie in there? That was nice.
That was nice. Yeah. A plug for Sharon, district governor elect.
Well, that'll be fun. I mean, so how nice is that you get 3 years to really think about what's meaningful for you, and then you get to kind of see, okay, great. This district governor really focused on A.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, now there's an opportunity to focus on B or C. Oh, the new district governor focused on B. Okay. C, you can kind of begin to shape your message as the people ahead of you are rolling out their priorities. And then you kind of morph that. And then it'll be kind of fun to kind of hear what We'll have you on as you keep going. How's that
As
sound?
I get up the ladder,
Yeah,
climb up
be
the
like,
ladder.
Okay, what did you learn this
Yeah.
year?
Talk to me a year from now. I'll sound a little smarter, maybe.
But you know what's really cool about this show is that we're finding is it's such an educational platform, and doing something like that where we have Leif on for 3 straight years.
Leif.
Or
Leif.
Leif. God,
Leif.
Leif.
Safe with Leif. I said that.
Yeah.
I said that at my Rotary Club meetings for Egan. Oftentimes when I started the
I
meeting,
swear I'm saying
this-
Leif in my head.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how I say it.
welcome to Egan Rotary. I'm Leif, safe with Leif, and standing, anyway. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But having Leif on for 3 years, and you hear kind of this progression,
Yeah.
and people that are listening to the show can go, I'm thinking about going into the district governor, whole process. What can I expect? And now you can point them to the 3, 4, 5 episodes that we have you on, and
Right.
and
Some things to consider. And
Well, I think something else to be said in this is pointing out to individuals who are listening right now and may not be Rotarians, considering becoming a Rotarian, and they're going, oh, well, this is kind of cool to see that there is truly this massive amount of leadership that is in place for Rotary, and that when you have these leadership roles, you're not just thrown to the wolves.
no,
the
there's
lions, or whatever you wanna
ladder
call.
training. I mean, Rotary is good at leadership training, I would say.
well, and it's interesting
Yeah.
too. Like, you look at Rotary from outside. If you don't know the workings, you see a new president every year, a new leadership every year. How can that even be sustainable? I mean, we've even talked about some of the challenges with the leadership rolling over every single year when it comes with like longer term projects or longer, like this show. We would love to see this show forever. And, as district governors come in, maybe their priorities are different.
Yeah.
I mean, that's no fault to them. I mean, it doesn't, their things are their
And
things.
they want to leave a legacy.
Yeah,
Yep.
right.
Mhm.
Leave a
And-
mark.
But the challenge of that rollover, but there is actually a system in place where there's a lot more consistency than we think.
And can be some continuity.
Yeah. I mean, that's even something I've learned as we've been on this show.
Well, even if you're district governor, it's a team sport. I mean, when you think about all the different committees, you think about the other leadership people coming behind you, it's definitely a team sport, like in a Rotary Club.
Oh, we're not going to rename Rotary to Leif.
No,
Not yet.
Not yet. All right.
maybe
couple more
maybe
rungs up.
maybe my my slogan that year as district governor will be "Safe with Leif."
Fair enough.
So, Leif, I'm curious. We've talked about a lot of your successes, and I think what we can do is kind of do this like the proverbial sandwich, right? We'll talk about some of your successes, but I want to hear about your challenges, and then we can wrap that sandwich up with some fun other successes that you've had. What are some challenges that you have faced being in Rotary, your involvement that you're seeing as you're moving up that proverbial ladder?
Yeah, I think maybe the most challenging thing in my Rotary time or Rotary career was starting a new club as a charter president, because it's kind of like starting from zero and just getting the word out. And then, with new leadership in a Rotary club, kind of helping them learn how to be leaders and be on a board and do all those things. So it was a lot of work. And sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. And sometimes we stubbed our toes, but we had, a great 2-year kickoff as the charter for our club. So maybe that was the most challenging part of my Rotary time. But I'm really excited about where we are. I mean, we have, like I said, 41 new members now. So
How long did it take to launch a club from we want to do this to the first meeting?
So Tom Gum, Jody Kern, Joe Swalve, and I had lunch together and we talked about it. And Tom kind of presented the idea, and then there was a lot of lead up details and a lot of things we had to get in place. And then we had a kickoff event at the Hilton Hotel in Bloomington on August 24th. That was when we started, just after the Rotary year had started. And then, it's getting the word out, and my partner, who is in the Minnesota Pride Rotary Club, he did a lot of work on the social media, and also he built a huge email list so we could blast out information about our club and get our stuff out there. So it was a lot of details. It was a lot of work.
Yeah.
But
Get some people to help you.
yeah,
along
it's
the
a
way.
team
Well,
sport.
I always kind of break it out like starting a club with Tom or without Tom. Like
He-
it's
Yeah.
like, it's like
Yeah, he was our,
like a
our
shot
club
of
he was
I
our
said to
club
myself,
advisor.
Leif, of
Yeah.
course Tom Gupp was involved in that.
I
So
just,
what was his role?
He was our club advisor. So, getting started, he came for our kickoff event. And he and Catherine both have been to our club to visit, and past District Governor Lloyd came a couple times to our
Mhm.
club. So they showed a lot of interest in our new
Mhm.
club. And
And they help you with the, I don't know, paperwork's the right, or the,
Yeah,
kind
writing
of the
charter.
charter details and all that. Yeah, yep, they did.
because you always hear, whether it's projects or I've heard this, you want to do something, we can do it. As a
Yeah.
new Rotary, you want to start a unique club, you can do it. But I'm like, wow, that sounds
like a lot.
just a ton.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Rotary International and the Rotary District, I mean, they're all talking about these cause-based clubs. The
Mhm.
need for us to have new clubs, create new clubs. That's how we're going to get new members. I mean, it's
Mhm.
always about getting new members, but also retaining members.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then how do you build a new club to get people who maybe are brand new to Rotary? So these cause-based clubs like the Minnesota Pride Rotary Club is a great example of that, along with the
Mhm.
Minnesota Veterans Club and other clubs as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Do you feel, so this is an interesting question. So the
If you don't
success,
say so yourself.
yeah. No,
Yeah, I
this is-
know.
hold on, wait. No, because like it's
That's the
interesting.
same thing, Chad.
Your
Like-
club was able to capitalize on what we could say is a weakness of Rotary, and that's
Yeah.
being perceived as inclusive.
Yeah.
And so why don't you provide some guidance for clubs today? Well, first of all, success, right? Like we'll take them.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
great. Thanks
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
Thanks for building our club. And like, what type of advice can we give to clubs that you've heard from your membership and from the people that have joined your club, as far as like not feeling part of something else
Your
or
first time.
first time?
Yeah.
Because every club has got to be doing this
Yeah.
exercise of like, how do we?
Yeah, I think for what really worked well for our club, I think is it was a little more non-traditional. It wasn't breakfast or lunch, but rather in the evenings, number one. Number two, we only meet twice a month. So it's not every week. So it doesn't feel
Mm.
maybe as
Okay.
much of a commitment. And I think our club is more huggy and kind of welcoming. And as charter president, I always tried to meet as many of the people who came as guests, make them feel welcome. Yeah, we did things a little differently. We did the toast to Rotary. One thing, a lot of clubs do is the Pledge of Allegiance, but we stopped doing that because there were some people who just didn't really feel comfortable about that. So we kind of changed the way we do things a little bit, and some people will understand that. Some people won't like that, but we had to kind
Yeah.
of pivot a little bit along the way to make everybody feel welcome. And I don't know. I think people just really feel like it's a family or a chosen family is, I think, what we say in our club. We're a chosen family.
Nice. That's what we say too.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, because people don't really feel welcome in some clubs. And maybe a funny story. I went to a Rotary Club, a big Rotary Club in our district, along with Joe, and we made the announcement that we were chartering this new Minnesota Pride Rotary Club. And one of their members after the meeting kind of pulled us aside and said, hey, thanks for telling us about our club, but, why don't you just all join local Rotary clubs? Why do you need your own special clubs? Couldn't you just tell us about your lifestyle and join a local club? And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. Especially with, even being a younger member, there's a very big perception out there of what Rotary is.
Yeah. And who the members are.
Yeah. And some of it, there's some accuracy to it, but
Yeah.
a lot of it is, we have a lot of younger members, we have diverse, it's not what I thought when I joined. I had the same misconception that it was old white men in the room and that, that type of thing. Much different than I had. So absolutely you should have a unique club that fits and connects with people on a different, I think that's the future of Rotary. Personally.
Another thing that's really great about our club is that we have some younger members. Our youngest member is like 23.
Wow.
Now,
Okay.
I do have to put a footnote in that her dad is a past club president, so she's kind of grown
Legacy.
up with Rotary. But I mean,
Yeah.
she fits
Still.
into the LGBTQ community, and she really feels like this is my place. I feel comfortable. I feel this is my chosen family. I feel welcome, and she loves our club.
Well,
Yeah.
one thing that I'll take away from that too is, you know, one of my favorite things about Rotary is diffusion, right? Like you've kind of got these core principles of Rotary International, and then they diffuse and diffuse all the way down to the club level. And to see a club say, you know, this works for us, this doesn't work for us, this, and then collective buy-in around that. Because let's be honest, who cares if any other club? That's why your members are part of that club.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got disagreements with the noon club. You know,
Right.
what I mean?
Noon
You know, it's just
versus
different,
breakfast. Yeah,
right?
it's a little different.
And you go, as long as there's collective buy-in and everybody is still going 4-way test,
Yep.
service above self,
Mhm.
onward,
Good
and
for the community.
good for the
Yeah,
community.
absolutely. Yeah.
because
Well, you've got the structure there, right? It's the borders and boundaries that kind of keep us moving ahead, and that's the 4-way test.
Well,
Well,
I think the one thing with change is we tend to throw the baby out with the bathwater, and it's like, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever we forget about the end game, and that's serving our communities, serving our people, creating fellowship, creating family. I loved
Yeah.
hearing you say creating that it felt like a family,
Yeah, chosen
and
family.
chosen family. And that's what service organizations like Rotary and others are all about. So, I mean, a good check for all of us is, are we serving our community? Are we actually going back to our core principles?
Yeah.
Or is this something that's just uncomfortable for me, or has been historically uncomfortable for this club? I mean, these are really great questions for every club to be asking themselves as we're moving forward and as we're dealing with this conundrum of membership, because it's difficult. Like
Getting new
Yeah.
members and keeping members. Those
Yep.
are the two big
Yeah.
problems all over the world for Rotary. It's a big thing.
Mhm.
One thing I would say, though, as a business owner guy, oh, by the way, all this stuff is great, but there is also a chance for some business. And
Sure.
I've been in the Egan
Yeah.
Rotary Club, and I don't like pass out my business cards at the meetings by any chance, but you know, you get to have lunch with these people every
Mhm.
week. You do service projects, you do the fundraiser, and then, oh, by the way, they'll come to you and say, oh, well, Leif, I changed my job and I need help with a 401k rollover. Or another one will say, I need Medicare insurance. And they happen to do business with me. And so there's a business component. We're not out there marketing or pushing for a business, but
Right.
you work together, you become friends, you have
Yep.
lunch or breakfast together.
No,
You do
like, and
service
trust.
projects. Yeah, you do service projects together. So that's another thing that, you know, people who aren't in Rotary yet, you know, that's part of the thing too.
I've always thought that we've needed to add the know, like, and trust and buy-in. I've always thought buy-in is the key component and that's what Rotary really fosters. In my opinion, in my experience, is you really have to buy in. Otherwise, it doesn't serve you, because it just doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't serve you, and you aren't able to serve your community the way that you want to.
Right.
And you just have to understand. I mean, and this kind of goes back to why Rotary plays so well internationally, is there is a collective buy-in, and we all speak a very similar language, and that's so powerful.
Yeah.
It's so powerful, and that's why we can get things done.
I gotta
Mhm.
ask you. We breezed over it. You're on the foundation committee.
Mhm.
Can you tell us more about the foundation?
Yeah.
You know, because it's something, at least at our club,
Yeah.
we talk about, but it's,
Yeah.
I think they've addressed that it needs to be talked about and understood a little bit
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
Well, the
So
district has its own foundation, and it's really important for clubs that don't have their own club foundation. Like the Minnesota Pride Rotary Club doesn't have its own foundation. So
Sure.
we do an annual drag queen brunch fundraiser, get corporate sponsorships and make money. But if someone's going to give us a corporate sponsorship, since we don't have a foundation, then we use the District 5950 foundation, and they kind of help us through that. So there's a foundation through the district to help clubs without their own district.
Yeah.
And so we've talked about, you know, how that works and how we can fine tune some things and make it easier for clubs. And so
will you create your own foundation with
that's
it, or
our
will you-
goal. Yeah, that's our goal. But
Fair.
it's more work and time and money to create a foundation. Then you have to have your own kind of set of foundation officers. So, I mean, there's a lot to it. It's a great goal, but there's a lot to it.
Are you losing anything in terms on the club level, just utilizing the district's foundation? Is
maybe
there
a little controller flexibility? You have to kind of fill out a form and, send it in to get the money.
Sure.
Versus if it's your own foundation, you just go to the foundation chair and bring out the foundation checkbook and write a check and bada bing.
So just a little bit more logistics.
Logistics, time, flexibility, little control. But
when is the drag brunch fundraiser?
Yeah, well, this is gonna be our 3rd annual drag queen brunch fundraiser. I like to say it's not your annual spaghetti dinner fundraiser. It's coming up on April 20th in Minneapolis at the theater. It's South Minneapolis. I want to say Grinnell, but it's not Grinnell.
Granada.
Thank you, Granada Theater.
Uptown.
Uptown. Uptown on like April 21st. I think that's a Sunday morning.
We'll confirm it. We'll put it on the show page.
Yeah.
But it is a Sunday because my birthday is the 20th, and that's a Saturday.
All right. Well, then for sure, it's Sunday the 21st, 3rd annual. Bring your friends and
420, huh?
Oh my gosh.
We'll have to get to that as we get closer, though. I'll make a note to promote it on air.
Yeah. And we had a lot of Rotarians there last year, and I think they all had a lot of fun. And some people hadn't been to a drag queen brunch show before. They're like, wait, how's this working? Oh, and it's at Rotary.
Yeah.
Even the district governor showed up.
Well then, Lloyd was there.
Yeah.
Lloyd was there. Wow. Good job, Lloyd.
Yeah.
Julie, you got some shoes to fill.
Now we'll have to get on her calendar. Yeah. Maybe she can run around with a boa on or something. Work the crowd. Yeah.
Well, we're getting towards the end here. Any parting thoughts or things you would want to leave with the listeners, or,
The biggest thing I want to say is let's make sure Rotary isn't the best kept secret.
Right.
I've said that before over my years as being a Rotarian. I feel like Rotary is the best kept secret. And I'm just astounded when I go somewhere and I say, oh, yeah, I'm in Rotary. And someone says, Rotary? What's Rotary? I'm like, you don't know what Rotary is? So we need to get the word out. We need to tell our friends, our colleagues, our workers, our uncles, our nieces what Rotary is and get the word out there. Because when you have to explain what Rotary is or they've never heard of it before, and it's not a phone, it's not a Rotary phone.
I'm going to start going Rotary.
Rotary. Yes.
Rotary.
Rotary.
Wasn't it Rotary?
Rotary. When we have Sharon as our district governor, it's going to be brilliant and smashing and really extraordinary.
She was wonderful at the
bet
district
she was.
conference.
She's a delight.
Because she's in. Is she in marketing?
She's also a financial advisor.
Or she's an advisor. Okay,
Yeah.
But it just her personality is just fantastic.
Well, I'd like to say she has an unfair advantage. She has a British accent.
That is an unfair advantage. I'll give it to you for sure. Well, Leif, we just want to thank you for taking time to come into the studio and hang out with these lovely gentlemen. And it's been an honor getting to know you a little bit better and all that you've done to serve serve Rotary. So thank you very much. And thank you to our listeners. I'm Kelly.
One last thing, Kelly, one last thing. And when does our Minnesota Pride Rotary Club meet? It's when?
The second and fourth Wednesdays.
Yes. Second Wednesday at where? 5:30.
Wise Acre.
Oh, Wise Acre.
Eatery.
I was like something acre.
Yeah, Wise Acre Eatery around the corner from the Russian Art Museum.
Yep.
Be
Thank you.
Be square.
We will be sure to add that into the show notes as well.
Yep, I'll make sure to include
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks.
All right,
Thank
Kelly,
you.
take us out of
Thank
here.
you, Leif. Thank you to our listeners. I'm Kelly Kirk.
I'm Joe Kirk.
And I'm Chad Larson. We'll be back.
Hello, and welcome back to Searching for Service, brought to you by Rotary District 5950 and
The Russell Hampton Company, the #1 printer for Rotary in the country. You can check out, if you're watching online, some of the things they printed and sent us. We got a cool tumbler, a cool cutting board underneath that you can't quite see, and mugs, but they can print anything. They can help you with your Rotary or your business needs.
Yeah, they do a really great job. And thank you for sponsoring the show. If you are looking at sponsorship opportunities, you can contact us by emailing us at searchingforserviceshow@gmail.com.
Nice little plug. Well, on our episode, our just most recent episode, we had Leif Hagen on, who has been selected as the district governor nominee designee for 5950. And it was a good one. It was a
with
great
some
one.
other titles too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we got to get into everything, and I don't know about you guys, I really enjoyed this interview in the sense that we did talk about a huge amount of things.
Yeah,
we covered a lot of bases. Yes,
it was really cool to learn, more about the Pride Club.
Yep.
But then, kind of understanding his process, and it kind of made me understand the process of, how our district governors start and then get to be in the final, and makes a little more sense for the continuity that that is needed.
Yeah, I mean, if you've been following along in sequential order of our show, there's been a little bit of confusion around how that works, and so it's always nice when we learn just as much.
Probably the most clear I've gotten on the process, at least. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What was cool is to, like, for me personally, I just didn't realize that there was such a long runway to get to that district governor position. Yeah. So it was nice to hear that rundown of, okay, well, for him to be the district governor nominee designee, that means that he's a couple years out still. Yeah. So
it gives you a lot of context too of how much you need to know to do that role.
Yeah.
And you get to at least observe it for 3 years, and then you're set up for success to at least have some more confidence. And, nobody's reinventing the wheel. It's just you're taking the process and you're just moving on with it. But
well, you're going to go check out their the Pride Club, not too far from you.
Yeah.
Every second Wednesday and fourth Wednesday of the month.
Wednesday. Yep.
If you've never had their bacon at Wise Acre, it's so good.
And you can have a cocktail.
And a cocktail, apparently. I don't remember there being cocktails when I was there last time, but
maybe it's beer and wine. I don't know.
Well, Ted, to answer your question, I will try my best to get there. It can be a little bit challenging though with the schedule at home.
I also appreciated about this interview that, we weren't afraid of talking about some uncomfortable issues and things like, hey, here's the legacy component of Rotary and how it's been perceived. And, one of the benefits of it was we were able to actually recruit against that. You know what I mean? Like you go, well, if you feel like the clubs aren't necessarily as welcoming as they should be, our club is like this. Yeah. And if we want to look at ourselves as Rotarians and say, the LG or the Pride Club, and if you have any kind of problem with it, you go, that's a reflection of us.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's so if we want to make it better, then let's look inside and change ourselves to change Rotary.
And I look forward to having more guests, from that club. I think it's something we learn.
Me too.
It'll be great.
All right.
Well, we want to thank our listeners for tuning in and listening a little bit more about who Leif Hagen is. I'm Kelly Kirk.
I'm Joe Kirk.
And I'm Chad Larson.
It's time to stop searching.
Start serving.
See you next week.